So how does everybody feel with those exercises? Okay? They're not the hardest things in the world, hopefully. To be honest, this is exactly what we do with our athletes at our facility. So if you feel like it's stupid or that it's super basic, my kids can do way better than that. Every athlete that comes and trains with us does the same workouts, okay? Because there's foundational things they need to get good at before we can have them doing cleans, before we can have them doing back squat, front squat, bench press. And these are the ways that we get them there, okay? Looking at the template, just any of them, it doesn't really particularly matter. I'm looking at B right now, if you want to be on the exact same page as me. We're on B. There's 8 weeks. Okay, so week 1, if you used to have blocked off everything else, you see XP. If you look over to the side, you can see that there's a 6 underneath the volume. That's how many reps you're doing. Okay? The next column says INT, if you can read that. So you see a VOL, volume. The next column says INT. That's intensity. For this level of the athletes and the kids you're working with, that's not our super concern, because it would be more of like a percentage-based thing later on when we know like their maxes on things. Right now what we're doing is just worry about the 6 reps. The weight is where you're going to write in whatever weight you used. Now, how we determine when to move up weight is if they can do the reps with good, perfect technique, and they can do them well and easily, move up weight, okay? If they're struggling to get the last rep like this, and they're like, all right, I got it, I'm going to move up weight. Don't let them do that. Be slow to let them progress, okay? Don't let them progress right away. So a good set would equal that the last rep was hard, okay, but I was able to get it. Then maybe I can try a little bit more weight. If I fail, failure is not when I can't move the weight anymore, it's when my form breaks down. So if I'm doing a bench and I'm here with one arm, and then I get to 6, I have to do 8, and I go like this, and then push it, and come across, and I get 2 more like that, that would be failure. I failed at 6, because my form went to crap, okay? So you want to make sure that you can get all of the reps with good technique. That equals a good set. Then they can progress when they're able to get those sets, okay? If they have a question of when they should go up, watch them. Say, let me see the set. And if they do a good job, all right, you can go up 5 pounds on that, okay? That's when you progress. So the first thing you can see how there's 4 sets there. So you go back and forth between your jump land hold and your arm slides. 6 reps of the jumps. The arm slide says 6. Go back and forth, 4 sets, then you move on. Okay? Is everybody cool on that one? You kind of see how that works? So the kids would kind of do their first set, write down their weight. Then they would come do their second set, then write down their weight. Third set, write down their weight. Fourth set, write down their weight. Then they would move on to the A section. Okay? In a perfect world, they would do XP, then A and B, but we know that's not going to happen. So then over there, you have your 10, their volume is 10 reps. Intensity is blank, then they're just going to be writing down the weight. So I encourage them to kind of write down their weight. They don't have to do it after each exercise when they're doing like trisets, but after a set, that would be kind of their rest time. Just go over, jot down the numbers they did on each thing, and then they can start their second set. Does that make sense? Okay? And you do 8 weeks for the fresh one. Again, you may not get through 8 weeks, that's fine, but we don't want to progress these movements faster than that. That's kind of why we wrote it in 8-week form for the freshmen. Because we don't want to do 2 weeks of this and then all of a sudden we're introducing a new movement. These kids haven't even learned how to do this one with any sort of decency. Okay? And then we've just introduced something new. So we want to just focus on it. When you're in here, if you haven't done 8 full weeks of that movement, maybe it's not time to progress on that. Okay? Just have to focus on that. Cool? Thought anything else?
Just the top box, the phase, rest, goals, the letter A. The phase would be a description of like, this is a work capacity 1, you know, as a phase. We may have a hypertrophy phase where it's about trying to add muscular size. We have a strength phase, a power phase. Usually with the freshmen, we're not going to be doing probably strength and power. It's going to be mostly work capacity. Maybe once they get a lot under their belt, they can start doing some hypertrophy work. The rest interval is just a guideline on that. You know, when we get into a power phase with more advanced athletes, the rest becomes a lot more critical. We really want to make sure that they can get recovery so they can maximize their efforts. It's 1 minute, but could be really much like whatever time they need. If they're ready to go in 30 seconds after that tricep, they can go back into it. You know, goals, you know, will be different things written in there depending, you know, athletic development is pretty general, but, you know, goals, building a base, technical proficiency, you know, maybe increase max strength, you know, it's a place to communicate a little bit more. And then that letter A would represent like an A-level class. That's like freshmen. The B would be sophomores, and C level there would reflect juniors, seniors in terms of the card. So that's kind of how, you know, we're thinking about how to communicate that, just so you know on the sheet. So, but that's it.
Any questions on it?